We wake up with Susie inside what appears to be yet another dark world. Wow, this time we just jump straight into it. Well, of course we do. Last night, Chris kinda created a dark fountain right in front of our eyes. Have we been looking at the night this entire time? Yeah, we're gonna have to put a pin in that one for now and continue the adventure. Before long, Rousey shows up. At this point, Rousey randomly appearing whenever we happen to be shouldn't surprise anyone at this point. He reminds us that we need to find and steal this fountain. Susie, however, is a little distracted. She's still excited about helping Toriel make a pie and starts talking about the upcoming festival. Eventually, she brings up the idea that all of us should go together, which would include Rousey. The moment Rousey gets brought up, though, things get awkward. He says it isn't that he doesn't want to go, it's that he can't. Rousey then explains something important. You see, Susie, you and Chris live in the light world, a place where everything is as you see. That is, as long as there's light. You see, when it gets dark, things become more indistinct. A chair can look like a monster. A poster can look like it's moving. Your eyes can't see the truth anymore. And when the light runs out, you see nothing. Of course, your mind can't make anything of nothing. But what if it became even darker? Darker than dark? What if we could take away the light that wasn't there until we reached another side? If that were to happen, you could start to see things again. And hear them, and feel them. That is the dark world, Susie. An alternate view of reality through the lens of shadow. In other words, an illusion. The dark fountains change everything into a fantasy. In the light world, in reality, Lancer's just an average playing card. Queen is just a laptop. In other words, when the lights come back on, this world is no longer real. The places you go, the people you meet, none of them are even I, the one telling you this. I too am. This gives us another huge piece of information about darkness and how dark worlds actually work. Rousey can apparently travel between worlds. He even tries to explain that he isn't real, or at least not real in the same way that Lightners are. Susie gets genuinely upset about hearing this. She's confused. Even Rousey seems confused by his own explanation. Before anybody can unpack any of that, however, we're interrupted.
And
Meet Tenna, the TV-headed game show host who's ready to put us through a series of exciting challenges for fabulous prizes. Naturally, we're asked to enter our names. Susie decides to enter. Yes. Yep, that's Susie. The game show immediately throws us into what is basically a Legend of Zelda type game. We solve puzzles, answer quizzes, fight enemies, and collect as many points as possible. Apparently, points are important because prizes are involved. Do we even care about the prizes at this point? Not really, but the show must go on. Along the way, we meet La Nina and El Nina, a weather broadcasting couple who seems nice enough now. Soon, we're thrown into a cooking show when we're dodging fire, serving food, and somehow managing not to burn the entire kitchen down. Against all odds, we win the first round and are escorted to Tenna's green room. While waiting around, we decide to fight an evil water cooler. Can we talk about this thing for a second? Why is a random water cooler one of the hardest enemies in the chapter? Who approved this? Anyway, the game show continues. More challenges, more points, more chaos, but eventually we realize something. All of these games are a distraction. Tenna's intentionally keeping us occupied, so we never reach the fountain. So we decide it's time to stop playing along. It's time to escape TV land. During our attempted breakout, we stumble across something unexpected. It's Toriel. She's trapped inside a giant gotcha ball. Not ideal. Tenna arrives to check on her, so we quickly hide behind the ball. Unfortunately, Tenna immediately picks up the entire thing, and just like that, we're caught. Tenna is furious. He responds by creating what is essentially an evil version of the game show. An evil board, an evil quiz, an evil battle. Everything is evil now. During the chaos, one of the enemies gives us a strange act option. Turn off. Most players immediately realize what the game wants them to do. So we press it, and somehow it works. Tenna shuts down, at least temporarily. This gives us a chance to begin our great escape. As we sneak through TV land, Tenna starts sending his employees after us. Apparently, every single one of them signed contracts requiring them to obey him. Unfortunately for Tenna, this is Deltarune, which means instead of fighting them, we slowly befriend every single employee he sends after us. One by one, they all start quitting. Meanwhile, another familiar face returns. Of course, Rules Card. Apparently decided that Lenino and Elia need a third wheel and is attempting to force himself into their relationship. He even pulls out laser pointers to manipulate us, as one does. Thankfully, we conceive the couple, and they don't actually need rules involved in their relationship. They reconcile, they cry, everything works out. Well, almost everything, because Tenna is coming back online. While hiding, something strange happens. The Phantom armor we've been carrying around suddenly comes to life. Phantom returns. He immediately recognizes Tenna. Tenna, however, either doesn't remember him or doesn't care. Then he sprays Phantom with foam. Honestly, I'm not even going to try to explain that interaction. We eventually reach the edge of TV land, and there it is. The fountain! We're finally close. All we have to do is seal it. Then Tenna appears, one last time. Before the battle begins, he reveals the truth. Chris, no why. Do you remember it, Chris? When everyone came over for the holidays. Back when I was just a little old TV. Everyone used to gather around my glow to watch the specials. Smiling, laughing, eating butterscotch pie. Wasn't that just so much fun to watch me? I was so happy. Then, people stopped coming. Everyone disappeared, one by one. No one wanted to watch TV anymore. No one wanted to play games anymore. I've been all alone. Until now. When the night appeared. The roaring night. And I was told that if I keep you three busy, I can have all the people watch me that I want. Suddenly, everything makes sense. Tenna doesn't actually want power. He doesn't want control. He just wants to be watched. The family stopped using the television a long time ago. He sat there collecting dust. Forgotten. Then, the roaring night appeared. The night promised him viewers, promised him purpose, and ordered him to keep Toriel trapped. Now Tenna refuses to let us leave, which means it's time for one final game. The battle's absolute chaos. Tenna throws every challenge he's got at us. He changes channels constantly. One moment we're playing one game, then we're playing another. Everything is happening at once. All we need to do is reach 1,000 points. Eventually we manage it. But Tenna isn't finished. He unleashes one final overwhelming attack, rapidly changing channels, and everything builds towards a massive finishing move. At the last second, we use our soul and launch everything right back at him. His health bar drops to 0. Tenna is defeated. For the first time, he opens up. He admits the truth. He was scared. Scared of being forgotten. Scared of being useless. Scared of being thrown away. Susie surprisingly understands. She shares a little bit about of herself. Let me tell you, I've never really been able to make friends. I was always the scary girl, the bad kid. The only times anyone's ever got close to me were as a joke. And even if I did start to make a real friend, I'd always end up moving away. When I moved here, I thought it would be the same thing. I felt like you. I felt like a broken toy no one wanted. Chris's mom saw me, Toriel, saw me sitting on the bench in the graveyard, crying. She asked me what was wrong and told me everything was going to be okay. Took me to the diner, bought me a hot chocolate, talked to me, told me I'd make friends. That gave me hope, even just a little. And recently, that hope's been growing because now I have friends, real friends I want to keep. Chris, Ralsei Lancer, Toriel too. Even though I thought I was broken, I just needed to find the right people, you know. So, don't worry, dude. Someone out there wants you, promise. Chris, you'll help me ask around town, right? Someone's gotta want a TV. And honestly, it's one of the sweetest moments in the chapter. We promise Tenna that somebody out there will use a TV, that somebody will want him, that he isn't worthless. Tenna is overjoyed and he's genuinely happy to call us friends. And, as he says, I know it's not what the knight wants. Could contestants deserve a good prize? Toriel! Everyone wins. Tenna gets a new home. Toriel is safe. We can go seal the fountain. Everything is finally... The voice, from the very beginning, speaks to us. It's been a while since that's happened. It is true. The fight here is a guaranteed loss. And when we lose the fight, the story still goes on. But if you still haven't figured it out by now, we change our fate. We hunt out another shadow crystal to change fate. Now, let's go over how to do that on this chapter. Alright, so remember those mini games we played? Well, we need to get a perfect score on those. So that kitchen game we were playing, we need to get rank S in. Once we get rank S, we can actually access this S rank room, which there's this strange character with this doorway. You know, they come aside. And of course, they mention freedom. Yeah, freedom's being mentioned again here. Good sign. Anyways, we find this abandoned console, attempt to boot it up, and it just does not work. So we find this abandoned controller in the second room, then we use it on the abandoned console, and it boots us in. And this is like the games that we've been playing with Tenna, except now we have like an HP bar. We actually are able to attack enemies. We go through these weird trees once we have the sword and leveled up enough. For a very, very long time, this is really hidden and obscure. But after making our way, we find a chest, and we open that chest, and we get the ice key. We then do the Guitar Hero minigame, and make sure we get a perfect S rank on that. Once we get the perfect score, we can re-access the room and play the second game. So that boots up, similar to the Otherworld and Nintendo version. We level up enough from defeating the enemies, and then we get to go through the secret passage by killing those bush. Then the obscure thing for this one is we have to constantly cross this lake over and over and over until we finally reach these weird stones, which we can then find a walkway to get onto them. We figure out the correct way to go is up here, get that bush, and we find this door, which kind of has the Deltarune on it. We use the ice key we got from the previous room to unlock it. If we didn't do the previous room, then we would not be able to unlock it. So that's kind of your hint that you're missing something if you didn't get it. We make our way killing more enemies. We get assistance. We unlock that door. And this door will give us the shelter key. Ooh. Alright, now we can come back to this room a third time, and that character we seem to have talked to before is turning into stone. We don't know anything about that. We grab the sword in this room, and the weird screwed up thing we do here is we kill our allies, Rousey and Susie in pixelated form. And then we're able to break the barriers and go into the sewage plant. And then we are now in this weird kind of like underground cave thing. We go ahead and kill the enemies there, kill the orange trees, and there's Tenna. We kill Tenna, and then boom, we move our way, and oh, that's just the shelter. Okay. Also, I'd like to point out, as we're trying to move the character, Chris starts moving on their own and is like making the character go the other direction. As you try to control the character, Chris will just move it on their own. Anyways, we use the key to get into the shelter, and we basically have found someone talking to us, and they seem to be saying, Chris, oh Chris, isn't it fun, Chris, playing around like this? That's why you're searching for them, aren't you? The shadow crystals and the shadow mantle that I'm holding. You honestly think it'll get you what you want? No, part of you's just enjoying this, isn't it? Oh, don't make that sour face. I can see it in the dark, you know. The question is, can you? And this is basically the secret boss fight within itself for this chapter. This is really freaking hard because now we're playing it Zelda style, which is completely kind of different control and like feeling. Gosh, this guy is really tough. He's got all those freaking attacks going all over the place, and this definitely took me a ton of tries. But eventually, after many attempts, we get through. There, that's what I wanted to see, flickering red, like pretty little flames. Your eyes can't hide it, Chris. Without play, the knife grows dull. Well, enough of that. We both have work to do. So if you want this mantle, hurry up and take it. If you can reach it. So, another thing we do, the chest seems to be there, but our character cannot reach it. It is too high up. So we're actually able with our character to come out of the game and into the actual like dark world and kind of confront Chris. Kind of interesting. But the character eventually just walks away, and then we recontrol Chris, and we actually walk into the game, and now we're high enough to get the chest, which has the Shadow Mantle, which is what we will need to actually have a chance to beat the Roaring Knight. So, let's try again and prove fate wrong. After seemingly defeating the knight just kicks our asses anyway, and for some reason was looking like they were knighting Chris. Weird. The knight continues to succeed with its plan and attempts to kidnap Toriel. All for Undyne to barge in to stop the knight just in time. But the knight just ends up taking Undyne instead. And we need to run after him. We're back in the light world. Susie grabs us and rushes down towards to follow the knight. And what? In the bunker? Just for the doors to slam shut on us. No way in. Susie aggressively banging on the door causes a panel to fall. Which, when reading, some kind of digital security lock with 3 symbols. One had a tree on it. The other, an officer badge. And the third one, the Deltarune. The door creaks open.